And with 2 determined goals last weekend, he's assured of a place in Jim Hermiston's squad, probably for the rest of the season. But it took Falco 58 minutes to put his mark on the match. 5 minutes earlier, Leichhardt took the lead when Peter Tredinnick pumped a high ball into the area, where Ian Gray turned beautifully to hammer home Leichhardt's first goal, beating the keeper Kim Wishart. But it didn't take long for the Gladiators to equalise. Good lead-up work by Gary Bromfield, Steve Glockner and Bobby Hamilton on the right led to young Falco's first goal. It was sheer determination by Falco, who supplied a deft header to beat Greg Woodhouse at the far post. City went 2-1 up just 4 minutes later. Left back Billy Wilkinson drove a hard low ball to Alan Hughes, who turned sharply to beat the advancing Woodhouse in the Leichhardt goal. Some great skill and determination here by Hughes, who freed himself of the defender Bertie Mariani. And Woodhouse, well off his line, was deceived with a deft right footer. Kim Wishart, back in goals for the City team, was in fine touch. One of the highlights was his penalty save just before half-time, and he was also called to react to a Leichhardt attack on this occasion. Falco struck again in the 69th minute with a savage 25-metre right-foot shot, which gave Woodhouse no chance. Credit must be given there to Steve Glockner, and Falco with the right footer 3-1 the scoreline. As we look at this in replay, we see the flick on, and now watch the good work by Steve Glockner. Again, Mariani was the man that was beaten in the defence by Leichhardt, and Falco with his third goal in as many weeks. Finally, it was Peter Jones who pulled another one back for Leichhardt that left the final scoreline of Brisbane City 3, Leichhardt 2. So after their win yesterday at the Newcastle International...
Oh yes, they were. They missed quite a few chances. David Lowe hit the post twice and missed an open goal. They were very unlucky.
What about the performance of Mick Shannon? Now, Mick's out here as a guest player. I believe he came into his own late in the game.
Yeah, that's right. He's a very good player. When he really put his heart into it, he was a fine player. We had a lot of trouble keeping up with him.
Now, you're injecting a new player from the Institute of Sport into the Brisbane City camp. How's he performed at training so far?
Oh.
Something which obviously something's got to be done about, David. I think it's what we talked about last week, the indecision of the Australian Soccer Federation and the National Soccer League, because nobody knows what's happening. And South Melbourne, of course, with all the finance that they've put out on players, and of course they've sold a few, are still struggling a bit, but you know, they won last week. And
Big Steve Wooden did well there to try and set this goal up for South Melbourne. Some good finishing here too coming up, but unfortunately just couldn't slot it away. But Wooden, obviously one of the big threats in that South Melbourne forward line.
Blair knocks it away.
Gary Bromfield has, for Brisbane City, has done quite well for City when he's been there, and I think they can look forward to a good season from him next year. But Brisbane City, I don't know, there's something just lacking about them in this particular time, and let's hope Jimmy can get them up again and back to what we know that they can do. Steve Perry, of course, back again there at right full-back, and that might stiffen a lot of problems they have up the back. And I'm not saying that they're not playing particularly bad, Brisbane City, but I still think they're not playing to the full potential. See, there was a simple goal there, and obviously Park, and although according to the highlights it looked a tremendous game there, I was very disappointed in many aspects of this game. As far as I was concerned, I thought Lions were far the better side, and it was only goalkeeper Kimmy Wishart that kept them in the game. It's one of the saves that Kim had to keep this side in the game there. Young Angelo Falco, one of these players who just keeps going and going and going, and Stephen Glockner, also one of the young brigade. He in actual fact had to be taken off, and this man Gary Bromfield put in his place. Bobby Hamilton had his usual game, and this brilliance here, and the goalkeeper has got to take a lot of credit there for narrowing the angle down. Kimmy Wishart again in tremendous form, and a header off the goal line there by Steve Perry saved Brisbane City once again. Brisbane
can't quite get his feet off the defender. Pushed through again by Patigas. This is real determination from the Olympic midfielder. And still Brisbane City can't clear it. Cross from Rogers. Patikas turns and couldn't get a lot of power behind that shot. Billy Williamson has not stopped running throughout this first half. This is Wilkinson. And making a nice run is Fabrizio. And drives it over the top of Gary Meyer. 1-0 to Brisbane City. Patikas and Catholis. It'll be Catholis, the drive one. And a great drive too. And this one's wide for Caird. Caird's got Bromfield in the middle. And Williamson it was trying to get the cross in. Caird still onside. Getting around one. His cross, a long low one. Rick Herbert getting a boot to it. Williamson drives one. Nice save, Gary Meyer.
Nor is Tommy Docherty opposed to criticism after a poor result at home. But even the thick-skinned Doc can put up with only so much abuse.
Well, it was before the game. They're spitting at you before the game coming out, and they're throwing fruit just prior to the game beginning. And, of course, once we went behind by 1 goal, I mean, it gradually got worse and worse and worse.
Just how soon Docherty leaves will be decided at a committee meeting this week. But top English player Steve Patterson has already made up his mind.
Yesterday was just the final straw for me, you know. It's not worth the hassle it's given me, you know.
So you're going home?
Well, I'll be trying to get my release from Olympic as from now, and
Brizio off the line. That could have been very dangerous for Brisbane City. It's still not quite away. Paul Carter on the ball for Marconi. But now the danger has passed for Brisbane City. Brisbane City moving forward. Frank Pimblett on the ball, decides to go for a bit of a run up the middle. Spreads it out to the left, where it's Bobby Hamilton now on the ball. Hamilton has players moving forward, decides to slip a short pass to Luciano Fabrizio. And he sends the cross in. Mengotti's there. Oh, what a wild old volley that from Frank Mengotti. It's gone right out of the park. Fabrizio attempting to clear the ball, kicks it straight into the feet of Tommy McCulloch, who's moving forward. He'll be tackled. No, he won't. Wishart's come off his line and made a mess of it. Now it's gone back to Rod Brown. He shoots. That's a goal. Well, that's 1-0 in favour of Marconi, and Brisbane City can hang their heads in shame for a very poor defensive effort there. Marconi moving forward again. They've looked quite sparkly in the opening minutes of this second half. Slicata having made the overlap. Now takes the ball downfield. He has players moving forward into the penalty area as well. Rod Brown goes up high. Well, that has been awarded a goal, but I'd like to see that again in slow motion. Up he goes, Rod Brown. Gets plenty of height, misses it with the head, and that's off the hand. Well, a very lucky goal that to Marconi. The referee obviously in a bad position there to see it. Wishart appealing straight away that it was off the hand, but it's been awarded. He'll drive it deep downfield. Bang, Frank Liddell hits it straight back upfield. Mengotti with the header. That'll go quite safely. Oh no, Bruce James has come out of his line and he's let that trickle into the back of the net. An unbelievably bad error by Bruce James. He kicks the ball away in frustration, but that's given Brisbane City their first goal. So this penalty gives the Gladiators a chance to come back into the match, having been down 2-0. I think Bromfield will take it, and he does. The left foot, sweet, straight in the back of the net. James has missed it again. Couldn't be blamed for that one. Brisbane City have equalised 2-2, and what an interesting last stanza to this game we're going to have now. The ball goes out to Scriggins. Plenty of speed too, Scriggins. There's plenty of players up for Brisbane City too as he lets go of the shot, and Bruce James tips that away. Well, James making up for those earlier.
And it was no quarter given by any side whatsoever. And I should say that the referee had a lot to do with this game. Actually, it would have been an even better game if he'd have got a grip of it early on in the piece. But he allowed it to go, and it wasn't until about the 64th minute before he pulled out his first card. Alan Rees there had an ample opportunity to put City into the lead early on, but unfortunately no takers there, and Danny Wright said, right, I'll have this later on, and he opened the scoring for Brisbane Lions with one of the best shots that Danny has knocked in for a long while. And it's nice to see Danny getting a goal. It's been a long, long time between drinks for Danny Wright, and he just wanders up here. It doesn't look as if it's going to do much, and then it just goes bang. and the goalkeeper, poor old Kimmy, never saw it coming, and that was Brisbane Lions 1-up. Brisbane City had gone into the game as favourites, and they certainly played very well, there was no doubt about that, and Alan Rees was very prominent in the first half or so until Alan Niven got a hold of him earlier on, and he shook them away actually, and did quite a good job from then on in. Lettieri, well, a nice little touch across there, and that was an equaliser for Brisbane City, and they certainly came back with Bobby Hamilton here, square across. There's a lot of acting being done and a lot of physical stuff there. Billy Wilkinson throwing down passing weight, the small men getting into it. Just looked like a rugby league game actually for a bit there. But, everybody settled down there, they all got their Oscars and we carried on with it, and Kimmy Wishart knocked... Kimmy's got a problem at the moment. There's a lot of people saying he's not the #1 goalkeeper in Brisbane, but I still think quite well recently, as all games are shown, and they had a big crowd there out at Spencer Park last weekend when they played against Melbourne, Croatia. I thought that the Brisbane side played remarkably well in the first half, but this Melbourne Croatia side, they're attack. Their commitment is certainly to push as many players forward as they possibly can, which puts a lot of stress on opposition defence. And if it wasn't for Kim Wishart, who had a brilliant first half, goodness knows what would have happened to Brisbane City. But the City defence quite resolute as always, and they've shoved out young Mangotti back to full-back, and of course that's Mangotti and Gary Bromfield at full-back. There's Bobby Hamilton going down. But this Mangotti seemingly has performed creditably in the last couple of games even in training and that, and Joe's had a little bit of confidence in him and stuck him there. And of course with him and Bromfield, who are both ex-forwards, he has good attacking full-backs, but unfortunately we've still got people to put the ball in the net, and that's just not happening. One player who was exceptionally good, that was offside, was Markovac from Melbourne, Croatia. Just a young kid, and he shows a tremendous lot of potential, and when you consider that they could afford to put people like Lewis and Campbell.
No. Panagis. Here's the chance for Rees. Still it's Alan Rees. He has a shot and just over the bar. Alan Rees, 6 goals this season, leading goal scorer for Brisbane City.
Yes, actually, I thought Alan Rees, in actual fact, should have taken the ball just a little bit before he did, in actual fact. I thought he came far too wide to chip it, but good credit to the lad. He chipped it over and Martin just saw it going over the top.
Brent Hearn. Masulis, and it'll be a free against Fabrizio. Free kick for Hearn. Intercepted by Juna. Masulis. Nice pass. Chance for Price. Good work. The shot, and it's wide. Gary Price going ever so close. He's got 9 goals this season, this fellow.
As I said there, Gary gets a hold of the ball just inside the penalty area there and rattles a tremendous shot there, which was well covered by Wishart, but rundled into the side of the post.
So the chance now for Brisbane City to go ahead in this match. We've had 15 minutes of play. There's no scorers yet. Free just outside the box. That's Frank Pimblett placing the ball. Now who's going to kick it?
I think Gary Bromfield.
There it is, yes. It's Bromfield taking it across, the left foot shot, and Crook gets his hands to it, deflects it away. Good left foot shot by Gary Bromfield.
Tremendous shot there by Gary Bromfield, pushed square by Pimblett. Gary takes 2 steps, has a tremendous shot here, and it's just the expertise of Martin Crook, who picked it all the way, and a tremendous save.
Fabrizio not wasting any time, across to Hamilton. Under pressure from Atsalis. Bobby Hamilton staying on his feet. Well trapped by Atsalis, but back to Juna. His pass across to Honeyman. Bicycle kick over the head. Comes back, the shot by Mangotti. Well saved by Crook. No scorers yet.
And here we see this ball come across. It's come off of Heron's foot. Up it comes. Mangotti controls it extremely well with his left foot. You can see him just locking the ankle. He hits it, and a tremendous save here by Martin Crook.
Both sides really needing the 2 points. 9th and 10th on the Southern Division table as the corner kick is taken by West Adelaide. Janikis goes high, can't quite control it. Hearn's shot is on the line. Bromfield clears it away. And Scriggins eventually gets across for City, but that was so close.
I would like to see that one in a replay because I think it would be very, very close to being in between the net. Here's the replay again. What a shot. What a save there by Wishart. He goes and he just kicks it right out from underneath the bar. It did not go over the line.
Here's Mangotti down the right.
I won't say that the game before this was as interesting, but here we go there with Bobby Hamilton, and what a tremendous header by Hamilton from across by Mangotti.
It's not Bobby's day today. He's gone close with about 3 shots.
Here it is here, Mangotti. There's a tremendous cross here, a 50-metre cross right across the face of goals there, and up goes Bobby Hamilton and just glides it past Martin Crook, but also past the post. The whistle has gone, and there we have a result on a very uninspiring game here at Spencer Park, and the score is Brisbane City 0, West Adelaide 0.
Neil, you came away with 1 point, but are you unhappy with that?
Oh, you've got to be happy with a point in Brisbane. We don't bring too many points home from Brisbane, but yeah, I was pretty happy.
You wouldn't call it a great game, would you?
I wouldn't call it a great game. You know, I think it was more exciting watching the grass grow than watching the soccer.
Did you have any excuses, say the loss of Constantopoulos up front?
Oh, no excuses. I think both teams, the coaches can say to the players what they like, but I think players, when they're in a relegation battle, they tend to be a little less committed forward. They tend to worry about the mistakes more, and I think both sides were a bit scared to get themselves forward.
Well, Jim, how about you? Were you disappointed in the way your team played?
Second half performance, we started to play like men again, started to be committed, and that's more our style. The players are capable of doing that all the time.
Can you still make the 5?
Oh, I believe so, yes. Why not?
And I believe you're off now to have a look at a Premier League game to try and find a striker for next year.
That's right, that sure is.
Yes, a 0-0 draw at Spencer Park as well, in a weekend where if